Yo, what's good, y'all boys? It's Dub, man. Today I'm coming at you with another reaction video. Today I reacted to NBA Legends explaining how crazy good Larry Bird was. Now, man, look, like I said in my other videos, I can watch as many highlights as it is. It's never going to be like the real experience. You know, like 20 years from now, 20, 30 years from now, when little kids come up and I start to tell them about LeBron, they gonna think it's a player in the NBA right now who is just as good as him just because of the highlights. Like, you never seen it. You don't know how good he is, you know? This is the closest I'm gonna ever get to, like, me just realizing how good Larry Bird really is. I know he good. He in my top 10 for sure. He should be in everyone's top 10. This something I want to do just off my little LeBron versus Larry Bird video that I did. I want y'all to just say Larry Bird versus whoever. Larry Bird versus LeBron, Larry Bird versus Kevin Durant, and I'll comment down below. I'll reply to your comment and say who's better. Let's do that. I'll do that. I feel like that'll be fun. Man, I'm ready to get into this video, man. If you're new, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below what you thought of the video. If you have a video that you want to send to me, hit me up on my Instagram at tb.dub. And let's go ahead and get right into it.
The man from Indiana who gave us an 80s to remember by lighting
and he was country, I think, right?
Wasn't he country? Will forever be heralded as one of the players who saved basketball. Bird and Magic's coast-to-coast war and jaw-dropping styles gave the NBA the boost it needed before the emergence of Michael Jordan.
If I can go see any game from back then, it would be Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird.
Jaw-dropping styles gave the NBA the boost it needed before the emergence of Michael Jordan. But for Bird, with 3 titles, 2 Finals MVPs, and 3 consecutive MVP seasons, some forget just how good he really was. Today we look at NBA players explaining how crazy good Larry Bird was in his prime. Before we get into all that, if you want to win a PS5 with NBA 2K22 and Madden NFL 22 included, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. When speaking of the NBA's greatest of all time, there's always 5 or 10 guys that hit the list. Each carries a different generation.
Facts.
From 50s Bill Russell to 60s Wilt Chamberlain or 70s Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 80s Magic Johnson, 90s Michael Jordan, 2000s Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, to today's LeBron James. Some get overlooked when they should. For example, Tim Duncan.
Facts.
And others get left behind because of the lack of titles, like Charles Barkley. What happens when all these players talk of another great as if he was like no other?
I might have to do a Charles Barkley video because he slept though.
Because he was one of them too. He was consistent, tough, offensively masterful, and one of the first big guys to shoot many three-point shots. LeBron James spoke candidly in an interview about how he was one of the few guys ever to win a three-point contest with a warm-up shirt on. LeBron referring to the time Larry won his 3rd consecutive three-point contest. James continued,
for young guys that don't know him, they think of Larry Bird as a jump shooter. But he was so much more than he was a passer.
Facts.
He averaged double-digit rebounds. He defended, took charges. And, it's a straight-up complete basketball player, and me as a small forward.
Later in his career, LeBron adapted his game to the new way.
That was my first time ever watching Larry Bird was that little 3-point shootout thing. When he hit the little finger up. Bro, come on now.
Basketball player, me as a small forward.
I was a kid when I seen that.
His game to the new way of basketball, which was a charge led by the Golden State Warriors in shooting more from behind the arc. LeBron was considered a big guy, but began shooting more threes, and no doubt was heavily influenced by the fact that Larry Legend had already achieved this feat in the 80s. In another interview, when asked about his top 3 of all time, LeBron put Larry Bird firmly in there with MJ and Dr. J.
Oh my God, 3. Larry Bird. Dr. J.
Shaq had a very different opinion on Larry initially. He said he disliked Bird because he was...
Your shipping manager left to find himself, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need indeed.
Jealous. He thought, how could this regular-looking guy do everything?
Never really had a chance to play against Larry Bird, but I actually used to hate Larry Bird. I hated it.
Shaq soon realized as he grew older and wiser that despite getting the luck of the Irish with the Celtics, Larry made his own luck when it came to shooting the ball. Shaq, at 7'1", of course, had a completely different style of game at the time. He was built to the max and used brute force to impose his will on the defense and rack up the point.
We can argue about this all day. Shaquille O'Neal is the best center of all time.
Points, blocks, and rebounds.
I got him
was also
with.
faster than most give him credit
Tell you what it is.
particularly in the early part of his career.
And that's no disrespect to Wilt, but Shaquille O'Neal is different.
Bird was notoriously slow, which was all the more testament to his skill set, but his basketball IQ was just on a different planet.
Facts.
He once sank a shot from behind the backboard, which O'Neal chalked down to a fluke following a bet with his friend.
Oh man, you gotta push him after that. Y'all gotta fight after that. You gotta fight that man after
Never really got the
that.
chance to
You
play
getting
against
dead in about a man with a mullet. Oh my
Which is
gosh, bro.
unfortunate, because I don't think it would have taken him so long to recognize greatness. On the other hand, six-time NBA champion Kareem Abdul-Jabbar battled Bird on numerous occasions while playing with the Showtime Lakers. Bird got the better of him in the 1984 finals, and took another two in a decade that was largely dominated by the purple and gold. Kareem spoke about how Larry might have been the best he had played against, and said,
Kareem? Kareem? But that's crazy, man. Like, for me, being the age that I am, bro, I look at Kareem as a nice guy. I would never
Bird
thought
got the
that he
better
was
of him
out
in
there
the
trash
1984
talking.
finals, and took another two
Kareem
in a
was
decade
about to
that was
fight?
largely dominated by the purple and gold. Kareem spoke about how Larry might have been the best he had played against.
That's
and said,
basketball
How
for you, bro.
good was Bird? People, I don't think people look at him and think, oh, he's a white guy, slow guy.
The chubby white guy, he wore us out. You know, because see, just this muscle here, the one between his ears,
Yeah.
that was his best. You know, because he made the three-pointers and he had assists and rebounding, steals. He was always at the right. And he had assists and rebounding, steals.
That's nice.
He was
Some
always
like,
at the right place at the
some
right time
cool.
on the court. You know, one of the great players I had the opportunity to play against.
Well, definitely.
11-time All-Star Charles Barkley, a regular season MVP during a star-filled 90s, was once asked,
He should've won
"Are
the
you better
ring,
than
man."
Bird?" And he took a long pause before answering, which is very telling.
Am I better than Bird? Oh man, that's a great question.
Most great players respond immediately with how they think they're the best because you have to have that kind of mentality in order to get to the top.
Facts.
Instead, Barkley answered,
I'm a better rebounder. I'm probably a better defender. He's a better shooter, obviously. You know, a lot of people talk about who's better.
But you have to think, you have to have that mentality.
No, you know,
You got to.
you know. Like,
You gotta have you never, even if you know that someone's better than you, you're never supposed to say that out loud. You're not supposed to even think that way. Man, Charles Barkley is heavily sucked on. Y'all don't even, bro. Y'all have no idea. The three people I wrote about in elementary, like as like basketball players, was LeBron James, Amari Stoudemire, and Charles Barkley. This man, I think I read that he used to eat like a whole chicken before every game or something, bro.
I think
Charles Barkley was different.
It's a team game.
I think deep down he knew that Bird was a better player, and for someone as good as Chuck to be stumped like that in an interview shows you how heavy the weight of Larry Bird's legacy was. Former teammate Kevin McHale also references how unreal
That boy had
Bird
a
was.
black eye.
Larry Bird's legacy was. Former teammate Kevin McHale also references how unreal Bird was to play with. McHale was Bird's right-hand man while playing with Boston, playing with the Sixth Man of the Year award twice, along with 7
Ooh,
All-Star
nice pass.
appearances. His story of a specific Detroit game is fascinating. There was a bit of time left on the clock, and we had beaten Detroit, and I just scored 56, and I'm walking off the court, and Larry said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm done." I said, "I'm exhausted. I'm tired." Larry goes, "Don't do it, man, because when I get that hot, I'm not coming out of the game." A week
Facts.
later, he got that hot. He looked at me at about 50 points, and he looked at me and said, "I told you." They
You
would go
gotta
on to
love
win
it.
3 titles together. And McHale would continue to tell stories that live on in Celtics folklore forevermore. A highlight being a throwback from Bird's brutal trash talk at a game in Phoenix.
We have a play, out of bounds play, I'm taking it out, and Larry says, I'm going to bust off the play, and I'm just going to come out, and I'm going to shoot a 3, and I'm like, we're down 2. And I'm like, no, don't do that. I'm like, let's shoot a 2, please. Go to the hole, try to get fouled. Let's just get into overtime, see if we can't win this game. And Larry says, no, I'm just going to bust a 3 on him. I'm like, oh my gosh. So he tells the Phoenix bench, the coaches, yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a 3 on you guys, just go home, I'm tired of this. And he gets the ball.
That's how you know. Bro, what? That's how you know you that. Bro, that's how you know you're that guy, bro. You're that guy. He went to the bench. I like, every time I hear a story of him doing that, his trash talking, it always amazed me. The fact that you went to this bench and just said, hey man, I'm getting tired of this. I'm about to just shoot the 3 and we about to go home. Do you know how cold you have to... I gotta see that.
Oh my gosh.
I hope they show the clip.
Tells the Phoenix bench, tell the coaches, yeah, I'm just fixing to bust the 3 on you guys, just go home, I'm tired of this. And he gets the ball, jumps out, busts the play, comes out, gets the ball to the slot, shoots the ball. As the ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the Phoenix bench and yells, "Told you so!"
Larry's mental game was such that he could just open up any team and tear them apart. He would use psychological warfare on a regular basis. Players speak of his toughness not because of his size or physicality, but because of his mind. He would impose his will on the opposition and could force them off their game just as much as he could switch on his. A masterminded trash talk
He did him
tactic,
dirty with
Larry
that
Bird
picture.
will forever go down in history as one of the greatest trash talkers of all time. And in the 80s, that mattered. With players such as Bill Laimbeer, Hakeem Olajuwon, Magic Johnson, and the eventual emergence of Michael Jordan, Bird did what was necessary in order to gain that mental edge that took him over the top.
Nice pass, man.
James Worthy, the 1988 Finals MVP, simply stated that Larry was trash talking all the time, but the problem was he could back it up.
Yeah, he could back it up. So, when you're arrogant, you can back it up. You're not arrogant, you're just good.
Facts.
And Larry was
Facts.
good.
Even Werther's former teammate Magic Johnson spoke on the fact that he had a real dislike for Larry Bird as far back as their college playing days for the very reason that Larry would constantly get the better of him. Johnson claimed in a recent interview during a press build-up for the Broadway play about the pair that after he beat Larry in the NCAA championship game in 1979, the most watched college basketball game ever, by the time he got to the Lakers, they were 0-8 to the Celtics.
You had to hate the Celtics to beat them because when I got here, we were 0-4, I think 8, and then the first time against the Celtics and then in championship series, and then we lost that in '84. That made us 0-9, I believe.
And later is quoted as saying, "When I played, Larry Bird was the only one I feared." Not bad when hearing it from a 5-time champion and one of the true great basketball players of all time. At the 2019 NBA Awards, Johnson received the NBA Lifetime Achievement Award, but it was shared with, guess who? Larry Bird. Bird was simply the king of talking the talk, then actually going out and walking the walk.
Listen, man. Retirement is great for you because you never talked this long.
Dominique Wilkins recounts one of the most famous games where Larry Bird promised Kevin McHale he was going to break McHale's record against Atlanta. Wilkins said,
He got so hot in that game that you talk about that patented step back. He was doing that step back and he switched it to his left hand 3 separate times in that game. And she hit a 3. He was scoring anywhere on the floor that he wanted.
Did you get in a fight with them after the game? Forget Larry. Did you beat anybody?
Same thing I said, bro. If you're my teammate and you're on the bench giving each other high fives, laughing, and I'm getting cooked, I'm hitting you, bro. Call timeout, coach. We got something, bro. Come on, bro. I'm beating you on live TV. No need for a commercial. I want everybody to see this.
Forget Larry. Did you beat anybody on the bench? Because when he was 5, he scored on me.
Every one of those guys got fined $3,000.
That ain't
Larry's
enough.
legend lives on because of the greats that want to tell them. The reason there's a list of top 10 players who consistently call Bird their toughest opponent or one of their all-time greats is because Larry himself is in that list. Larry is a top 10 baller of all time. His style doesn't matter when his skill sinks the opposition. Because above all, the opposition will remember. They'll remember the steals, the shots, the clutch plays, and the trash talk. They'll remember the Bird from the early 80s, not from the early 90s. The Larry who stepped out on the court in his warm-up jacket and made Michael Jordan recoil in envy. MJ announced, well, when Bird did, it was all business. He may as well have taken a mop and bucket to the floor because he was about to clean up. He was an impetuous and never relenting opponent that took the life from anyone who stepped onto his battlefield. The consensus is a resounding stamp of legendary status for the man who will forever go down in the history books as one of the greatest ever players, and arguably the greatest ever Celtic to grace the court. What do you think of Larry Bird in his prime?
The greatest ever Celtic. That's a good conversation. That's a good. Ooh, I hope it's a. Ooh. That's a good conversation. The greatest Celtic of all. That's good. Ooh. Man, this was an amazing video, bro. Larry Bird, come on now. If he's not in your top 10, what is you doing? I mean, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below what you thought of the video. Don't forget to follow my Instagram at tv.dub. Hey, man. I'm out.